Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're exploring Deepak Chopra's 7 spiritual laws of success.
Ooh, Chopra. Sounds a bit, well, mystical. No. Like, are we about to unlock some secret lottery-winning formula or something?
Not exactly. It's less about winning the lottery and more about tapping into a different kind of wealth.
Yeah.
The kind that doesn't depend on external stuff.
Got it. So, inner wealth. I'm intrigued.
It's all about aligning with what Chopra calls universal principles to reach your full potential. We're going to break down these 7 laws, see how these ancient ideas can actually be applied to, well, our very modern lives.
Okay, I'm all ears.
And hey, get this. We're even going to see how putting in less effort can sometimes make you more productive. Sound paradoxical. We'll get there.
All right, I'm ready to have my mind blown. Lay it on me. What's this first law all about?
It's called the Law of Pure Potentiality. It's all about recognizing the incredible power and creativity that we already have inside us. Like, we're talking unlimited potential here, but it's often buried under all the noise and distractions of daily life.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like we're so busy doing that we forget about just being.
Exactly. Chopra suggests taking at least 10 minutes every morning just to sit in silence. Let your mind settle and connect with that source of creativity. Do you ever do anything like that?
You know, I do. For me, it's being out in nature. There's something about being in the woods, hearing the wind in the trees that just really quiets my mind and helps me connect with something bigger than myself. It's like hitting the reset button on my brain.
I love that, like creating a space for those aha moments to come through.
Exactly. And Chopra emphasizes this idea that by calming the mind, we can access this field of pure potentiality, this source of creativity and inspiration that's always there.
So we've tapped into that potential. But how do we channel it outward, make it, real in the world?
That's where the law of giving and receiving comes in.
Ah, okay. So this is where we start to see how this stuff actually plays out in our lives.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all part of this, giant energy flow in the universe. It's not just about material things, but a balanced exchange of energy.
So what does that look like practically?
It's about giving freely without expecting anything in return, like offering a compliment, helping someone out, or even just smiling at a stranger. When we give freely, we keep that energy flowing, and it creates this sense of abundance in our own lives.
So it's not just about being charitable. It's about understanding that giving and receiving are 2 parts of the same. What was the word?
Flow. Think of it like a river. You can't have a river that only flows one way.
Right. Makes total sense. It's like You can't just be on the receiving end all the time. You got to give back to keep the whole system going.
Precisely.
But while giving is important, we also have to consider the consequences of our actions. That's where karma comes in, right? The law of karma.
Exactly. But it's not just about, what goes around comes around, like some cosmic punishment system.
So what is it about then?
Chopra takes it deeper. Every action, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect. So karma is really about being mindful of the consequences of our choices. Like, are we contributing to something positive or negative with our actions?
So we need to be intentional with our choices rather than just reacting out of habit or whatever.
By asking ourselves, what's the intention behind this action? We can make decisions that create positive ripples in the world around us. And, that brings us to the law of least effort, which I know can sound a little
lazy. I was going to say lazy.
Right. Like, are we just supposed to sit around and wait for things to happen?
Exactly. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There definitely is. It's not about laziness at all. It's actually about working with the natural flow of life instead of constantly pushing and struggling against it.
So like going with the flow.
More than that, it's about recognizing that sometimes the most effortless path is the most effective. Chopra uses the analogy of a river flowing around a boulder. It doesn't try to force its way through, it just flows around it. Can you think of a time when surrendering to the situation, like letting go of the need to control everything, actually led to a better outcome?
Oh, definitely. Like that time, it's a story for another day, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's about recognizing when to push forward and when to surrender, right?
Exactly.
Which brings us to the law of intention and desire. Now, aren't those basically the same thing?
Well, they're definitely connected, but intention is more about the energy and focus we direct towards something. Desire is more about the longing for it.
So intention is the action and desire is the feeling.
You could say that. Chopra suggests setting clear intentions, like planting seeds and then releasing them to the universe, trusting that things will unfold as they should.
So rather than obsessing over a specific outcome, we set the intention and then trust the process.
You got it. It's about being open to the journey, not just focused on the destination. What's something you desire right now? Think about how you can align your actions with that desire without getting too attached to a particular outcome.
It's like setting the GPS, but being open to taking a detour if there's road construction or something.
Great analogy. Which leads us perfectly to the next law, the law of detachment. I have to admit, this one kind of threw me for a loop when I first read about it.
Yeah, I hear you. It sounds like the opposite of what we usually think of as success,
Yeah.
Like, aren't we supposed to be driven and ambitious?
Right. But detachment isn't about lacking passion or giving up. It's about letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes. Chopra uses the analogy of holding sand in your hand. The tighter you grip it, the more it slips through your fingers.
So it's about loosening the grip. But how do we do that without losing sight of our goals?
It's a balancing act. We set intentions, we work towards them, but we don't get so fixated on one specific outcome that we miss out on other opportunities. What are you holding on to too tightly in your life? What might open up if you loosened your grip a little?
Ooh, okay. That's a good one to think about. This last law feels pretty, well, heavy. The law of Dharma.
It is. Dharma is about discovering and living your unique purpose. It's that feeling of alignment when you know you're living in accordance with who you truly are and how you're meant to contribute to the world.
So it's not just about personal success, but about using our talents to make a positive impact.
Exactly. It's about recognizing those unique gifts we each have and figuring out how to use them for the greater good. So I'll ask you the same question Chopra poses. What does your ideal contribution to the world look like?
Wow. Okay, that's, definitely a question to sit with for a while.
It is. And it's a journey of self-discovery that can be different for everyone.
So we've explored all 7 laws. What would you say is the core message here for our listeners? Like, if they only remember one thing from this whole conversation, what should it be?
That true success isn't about forcing things to happen. It's about aligning ourselves with these universal principles, tapping into our inner wisdom, and trusting the process.
I gotta say, I was a bit skeptical at first. But, what really strikes me is how practical these ideas actually are. Like, this whole concept of achieving more by letting go of effort. That's powerful stuff.
It is powerful, and it challenges everything we've been taught about success, right? If success is a journey and not just a destination, what's the next step you want to take on your path?
That's a great question for all of us to consider. Thanks for diving into this with me.
It's been my pleasure.
And for all of you listening, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep those good vibes flowing. We'll see you in the next deep dive. Until then, take care.